What's up, guys? Welcome to my tarot channel, Tarot by the Intuitive Teacup. That's me. My name's Annie. Welcome to this All Signs Tarot reading. Please come into the readings with an open heart and an open mind. Take away only what resonates for you and release the rest. Check below for timestamps so you can hop directly to your reading. And do remember to check out the reading for your sun, moon, rising, and Venus signs. All right, let's do it. All right, Libra. Libra sun, moon rising, and Venus signs. What's coming in for Libra in the next week or so romantically? Let's see. Cut down, cutting out separation, stopping a pattern, or the silent treatment. Let's see. Tell me more. Oh, excuse me. I got allergies. Mad allergies for Libra. Self-indulgence. This card has come out a lot for a lot of the signs. Self-worth, value, time to heal, shadow work, self-appreciation. It's not always a bad thing. I think sometimes we hear self-indulgent. It's like, ugh, they're so self-centered. But no, if it's coming through in terms of like self-worth and self-care, I'm a big proponent of that. So. And then passion, there we go. Insane chemistry, sparks, having fun, equal interest, and burning desire. So I love that. This feels like cutting out things in your life that are getting in the way of your love life. And for some of you, that may have to do with an ex or someone that maybe you're still holding on to energetically. Ooh, I apologize for the coughing, Libra. I'm going to have to do my inhaler. Anyway, cutting things out of your life that are weighing you down, that aren't really like promoting good things in your life. I think when you take some time for self-care, then you have passion come through. And I mean, very rarely is passion a card that indicates, being solo and individual, right? That sparks is chemistry with someone. So. In abundance. Hell yeah, Libra. See, it gets better. It gets better. Positive mindset, manifestation, gratitude, bliss, and blessings. So for those of you who are single and looking, this week is probably going to be a week of manifestation, focusing on yourself, paying extra good care and attention to yourself and what it is that you want and desire in your love life. It always starts with you, right? You can't pour from an empty cup. So take this week, I said the same thing, I think, to maybe Cancer. Take this week to really like dote on yourself and show the universe that you're going to put yourself first and that you are your main priority. And a lot of times when we're not actively searching or seeking for love, that's when it happens, right? So there could be sort of like an unexpected person coming into your life with passion and abundance. Maybe someone who's very business savvy, maybe someone who's very, boss daddy or boss mama, right? Gender's not super important here, but yeah, someone who has a thriving career, this and that, someone who wants to take you out, spend money on you. You don't like that at all, Libra, right? I'm just kidding. Maybe something with a fire sign, Aries, Leo, Sag, Earth sign, Taurus, Virgo, Capricorn. Let's see. Ooh, let me take a sip of my water. I sincerely apologize for the coughing. If I remember, I'll try and edit it out. But hey, I'm only human, right? Look at me trying to show up extra perfect in a Libra reading, right? The perfectionism is strong. The energy. All right, here we go. What are we cutting out or cutting down? What's going on here? Some of you may quite literally be working on your home, helping a family member or a friend move, do something on land or property. It's a celebration, though, whatever this is. So this isn't going to be negative for all of you. Some of you, it feels like you're finally being able to release and let go and celebrate something that was holding you down or holding you back. Maybe you had a little bit of baggage with an ex, right? Even if they weren't in your life anymore, maybe there was a little bit of, shadow energy, making you feel like you weren't good enough or something that knocked your confidence. With the Three of Cups, though, that seems to be exiting. The Three of Cups is a very celebratory, going out with your friends, celebrating milestones in life. Feeling loved and appreciated. So it might be a good week to focus on you, as we said, first and foremost. Always put yourself first. But then with that, maybe it's just a good time to go out and be social and hang out with friends. You might meet someone through a friend of a friend, Libra. Tell me more. Knight of Swords. Yeah, someone's coming in. Interesting, because the way this started, it feels very much kind of like a week of just kind of the mundane, the everyday, ho-hum, but also, focused on self-care. But then this speaks to me about sort of discussions of a commitment, or you know what this feels like? This feels like a friend comes up to you and tells you of one of their mutual friends who's newly single. or maybe just got out of a divorce or a marriage, and so I'm not saying, immediately jump in on that because, give this person time to heal, but it almost like there's a messenger here of someone who is actively looking for their person, and that news gets spread to you. It's like, yeah, there's like a messenger here of like, oh, so-and-so single now, or, oh, I know someone who would be perfect for you. So you may have a friend playing matchmaker, especially an Aquarius friend. I feel like Aquarians are good at that. I don't know why that's coming through. That felt more channeled, but any air sign really, Gemini, Libra, Aquarius. Hierophant is a very strong card of commitment, of tradition, of loyalty, of doing something in a more, I would say maybe more conservative. It doesn't necessarily have to mean political, but someone who maybe values tradition, right? They're very much like, let's put a title on this and let's talk about our 5-year plan, right? It's earthy energy. So it's not interesting. These kind of fell out of the deck. So an ending, being able to look back at an ending from a different perspective. There's something your spirit guides wanted you to see about how little you were actually accepting. And it's like where I think you needed to raise the bar, to raise the standard, because I don't know, with these cards, it's like you were very willing to cater to everyone else and sort of play, mom or dad. Even in a romantic relationship, you wanted to be like the caretaker. And, sometimes that does come down to ego, right? It's very easy to be like, well, it's because I'm such a good person. And yes, of course you are, Libra. I'm not saying you're not. But also I think it's important to look at why does it feel so natural for us to take on that role of quote unquote caretaker in a relationship and be that doting, loving person. Sometimes it does have to do with needing the validation of serving some sort of important role in this relationship when really it's an equal playing field. You guys both need to be able to do that for each other. It shouldn't be one person's responsibility to be the responsible one, or to be the nurturing one, or to be, the list maker, checking things off the list and making sure everyone's organized and whatever. Now, I think you guys naturally are good at that. I think you gravitate towards that. And sometimes it's just the self-satisfaction of like, well, it's just what I do and I love it. But with that, were you attracting people who took that for granted and didn't truly appreciate you, or again, couldn't toss the ball back, so to say, right? The reciprocity of it all. This seems to me like, especially with the cutting down, some of you may have been out of a relationship for many years, but it was a relationship that really took its toll on you. And when you were able to practice better self-love and, do the shadow work, essentially, right? That's important with this card. I think you're able to see it from another perspective now, because I think the universe is preparing you for something coming in that it's really going to open your eyes to how little you were willing to receive from a relationship versus what someone is actually capable of delivering to you. The universe is getting you to aim higher. I do think this comes through a friend of a friend or through a family member. I mean, by all means, hit up the dating apps if that's your thing. Go out, be social. Maybe you'll meet someone at the cafe or the bar or the coffee shop, whatever. But this very much feels like a networking type of connection. It's like, again, through a friend of a friend. So someone's on the lookout for you. So, let your friends know that you're single and looking if they don't already know. I think some of them do. But I sense someone trying to play matchmaker for you, play Cupid, if you will. And that actually could pan out very well for you. So, all right, Libra, that's what I got for you. Thanks so much. Hello, Scorpio. Scorpio sun, moon, rising, and Venus signs. What is coming in for my lovely Scorpio gang in the next couple weeks romantically? Let's see what narrative or storyline I can share with them. Messages for their best and highest good for Scorpio, please. Paradise, happiness and joy, playfulness, enjoying each other, and the honeymoon phase. Ooh, damn, Scorpio. You getting into something new, something cozy? Or quite literally the honeymoon phase of a relationship, right? Just feeling like, this feels good. This is my person, It hasn't reached any sort of point where it's gotten too serious or too this or too that. You're just enjoying each other's company. I love that. Let's see. Tell me more. This is ship, cutting ties, moving on, and then separation, sadness, bitterness. So here's the thing. Hang with me. Because this card came out first, I think this is what's directing the reading. And I think it's saying, for those of you who have been in a long-term struggle of letting something go or trying to move on, knowing that that's the right thing, but still feeling kind of sad about it, shoulda, coulda, wouldas, or wishing something had been different. This feels like something new starts to come in for you, possibly with this, I don't know why I'm wanting to say this, but with the full moon in Capricorn, there might be some sort of, I don't know, revelation or something coming to light. Hold on, I got to think about this. So for Scorpio, where would Capricorn be? I mean, that would be Sag, Cap, third house. So yeah, like your thoughts, your mental realm, your perception of something. It's more complicated than that, of course, but I'm just doing like a real quick blanket astrology thing here. But yeah, it feels like for those of you who were mentally stuck in something. It's not necessarily that that person was still in your life. You know, maybe they had moved on, or you knew you had to move on, but you were just kind of struggling with that decision. It feels like there's sort of a flip or a 180, or how do I want to phrase it? There's a better word for it. There's some sort of change or transformation, right? Very Scorpio word, where something else starts to preoccupy your mind, or you get your attention focused on something else that feels so good that I think you start to release this because it was actually sort of like diminishing your mental health, or you're starting to see that it was more of a weight or a burden rather than holding on to the idea of something. It's like, I'd rather just be present. I'd rather just be happy, even if that means letting go of something. And I know, especially for Scorpio, that can be tremendously hard, but I think progress is being made, especially in terms of your mental health. That's what's coming through really strong. So I love this card though. So I mean, again, for those who are single and looking, this looks great. Maybe something with a water sign, Scorpio, Cancer, Pisces, maybe an earth sign, Taurus, Virgo, Capricorn, especially Capricorn I'm getting from that. So let's see. Let's talk more about maybe something new. Maybe you're connecting with someone. Maybe you're going on a trip if you've already been kind of dating, or I don't know. I don't want to say friend zone in the negative way, but if this is a friend and you guys are like catching vibes on each other, you do have two cards of travel here. I just heard something, but I'm not going to share that quite yet. We'll see if that comes back into it. All right, let's see. Where were you blocking your own wish fulfillment? Or where were you, and I know that's not going to go down smooth, right? That sounds very much like I know what I want, right? No. But there's something here about maybe being overly guarded of your heart in terms of opening yourself up to the potential or the possibility of something that could feel really nice. What do you think the universe was asking you to sacrifice or surrender, aka this, right, whatever that was, in order to sort of open yourself up to new potential or new possibilities? Yeah, there's something very strong with an earth sign, even maybe a Sagittarius coming through. Yeah, something that makes you really, really happy. And I just feel like there's a message here of you got so used to things being a certain way that you started to come to accept that as normal, that life was just always going to disappoint, or people were always going to break your heart, or you whatever, fill in the blank. And I don't mean that you're leaning into like the sad sack, woe is me. I don't think you're doing that consciously, but something transpired in your past where it's almost like the sun got eclipsed and you were just living in the darkness. I know that sounds like bad poetry, right? But that's really what I'm getting from this, is like you forgot how good it could be because some sort of relationship took a toll on you, or just something happened in your life, even if it wasn't a relationship, where it was very heavy. It was like a dark period in your life, and I think you were emerging into the sun. I think you're at that light at the end of the tunnel phase, but part of you might be questioning it, or it's not that you're not opening up, but I think you're very slow to do it because you may have trust issues, right? You may have had your heart broken, or you may have gone through something that really tested your strength. And so you might be very self-protective right now, but I think the universe is sending you a gift of a person or a relationship to ease you back into the world of dating or whatever this is, to let you know, like, hey, it's okay to trust people. It's safe to open up. Like, not everyone is going to trample all over your heart. Not everyone is going to, abuse your trust or whatever. Like, these cards feel really happy and really light, and this is about just going out and having fun, because ultimately, like, life is short, right? You don't want to spend it in the shadow, in the darkness all the time. I think you guys can excel in that arena, right? Doing shadow work and doing the heavy deep stuff, but also life is about balance, right? So sometimes we do have to kind of come up from the watery depths, right? And do a little bit of the sun stuff, do a little of the playful, creative, I don't know, whatever you want to call it. Good time to focus on creative projects. Good time to take a little vacation, a mini vacation, even a staycation. Though I would argue getting out into nature could be very soothing and healing. Some of you might meet someone on like a hike, or, some silly like rom-com scenario. That might be in store for you with this card this week. I like that. Meeting someone near or around water, lakes, oceans, at the beach. Yeah, this I'm wanting to say that phrase, like, the struggle is real, right? But it doesn't mean it's going to go on forever. I think you guys sort of had to find the drive and motivation to pull yourself out of a bad place, a bad situation. And again, something about the mental health is really coming through here, but you've proven to yourself that, like, you're worth fighting for, right? Your life, your heart, your whatever, you're worth fighting for. Don't give up. Don't quit. And again, don't sort of marry yourself to the fact that everyone is always going to let you down. because yeah, it's like you're denying yourself of seeing all the good that is in the world. And maybe this is a vice versa message, right? Maybe this is a crosswatcher message. Maybe, maybe some of my crosswatchers have a really kick-ass Scorpio that's entering their life and they're just like, is this too good to be true? If that's the case, though, it even seems like your person may have strong Scorpio or Pluto in their chart of being very kind of like needing to do some deep digs, some research, get some intel on what's really going on here. But no, I see you guys like either getting away, going on a little trip, or maybe just hiking for the day or going swimming at the beach or whatever it is. I think there's something a little bit more private about it. I see you guys kind of wanting to have more intimate time together. So part of me wants to say maybe this is just a friendship that has the seeds or the potential of something more, but it's going to be fun. So don't second guess it, Yeah, like you don't have to have that Scorpio lens of what are the ulterior motives here? Like what do they really want? Or they, you know what I mean? Yeah, like get out of your head a little bit. Like just enjoy it for what it is. And again, for those who are single and looking, you have some strong cards coming through, but it's saying don't give up. Don't lean into that shadow side energy of your head or whoever, the devil energy that we all have, right? Telling you it's never going to be as good as it used to be, or no one's ever going to compare to your ex. Again, that's a very narrow-minded point of view. So step outside your comfort zone with these cards. You have a couple strong, very strong Leo cards here too, which is like, let your light shine. And I know that's not always a comfort spot for you guys, but that's ultimately how someone's going to see you, right? You have to let your light shine, be your authentic self, be who you are, because somebody likes that. Someone's checking you out and they're like, oh damn, what's up, Scorpio? So allow that light to shine, allow that light to thrive. All right, that's what I got for you this week, Scorpio. Thanks. All right, Sagittarius, what's up? Sagittarius, Sun, Moon, Rising, and Venus signs. What's coming in for Sagittarius romantically? Romantic in their love life in the next week or two. Sag, Sun, Moon, Rising, and Venus. Tell me what's coming in. The ship, that's been cutting ties. That's been coming out a lot for a lot of the signs. Tell me more. Now it could potentially be a travel card. Let's see, sunglasses, watching, looking, perception, stalking. So someone's checking you out for sure. Someone's interested. So this might be, whether you are in a relationship or not, Sagittarius, someone may be peeking in on you to see what the status of your love life is. Someone may be curious or wondering if you are single, available, if you're, dating, married, etc. Because there might be someone who's at a crossroads of trying to let you go. If there's been someone who you've either recently dated or had a connection with in your past, and it was kind of one of those ones that stay with you, it could be that someone is like wondering if it's time for them to move on. That's sort of what I'm getting here. Might involve a Scorpio. It doesn't have to. Might involve a Gemini or a Sagittarius. One more. The universe is like two more. Mirroring each other, self-reflection, introspection, inner wounds. Okay, so here's the message, and this isn't going to resonate for every single Sag out there, but here's the general message. Whatever you're doing, that is being mirrored back to you. Now, I'm not sure if it's the exact same person. Part of me wants to say it is, particularly if this involves a Gemini. I will say that. But if you're checking up on someone, if you're rereading texts that person sent you, or you're looking at their social media, or you just find yourself kind of daydreaming about the one that got away, that is also happening in regards to you. And for most of you, I think it probably is the same person. Yeah, especially if you went through like a tumultuous breakup, or maybe not tumultuous, but it was like a lot went unsaid. It felt like it just kind of diminished or fell apart without a lot of explanation, or without a lot of mutual agreement that yes, this is the right decision. It feels very much like we want to, but we can't, or one person is half in, half out, and the other person is all in. And but the thing is, both people are, I hate to say this, but both people more or less are like suffering from this a little bit. Like nobody is completely certain that the correct decision was made. So that's what I think here. I think that ultimately there was a breakup. And then I think both of you, again, you know what you're doing. I don't. But one or both of you is looking in on each other. Something about that is being mirrored back here. Inner wounds, introspection, self-reflection, shoulda, coulda, wouldas. Did we make the right choice? Should we have been together? Maybe we were soulmates in another lifetime. It can have that sort of like heavy spiritual feeling of like this connection. There was something more to it, even though we couldn't make it work. And that's very much, to me, as a reader, telling of like a karmic connection. Like, you were meant to meet. You were meant to gain something from this, even if it wasn't your forever person here in this lifetime. You probably knew each other in a past life, right? Then it says heartbroken, deeply hurt, sad, feeling lost, grieving, despair, breakup. Now, I'm not saying that both of you are completely single either. What I am saying is there's a mirroring of still thinking about that person. For some reason, I just keep wanting to say the one that got away. And yet I'm sort of sensing one or both of you is still kind of in a situationship, or you may have a connection to someone else who's a potential dating candidate or something like that. But yeah, it's like, it feels a little bit third party in that I don't necessarily think people are acting on it per se, but there is kind of this confusion of like, am I all in with my current person? And if so, that means I'm actually going to have to like cut energetic ties with this person of the past, but am I ready to do that? It feels very much like it's like keeping the door open just in case. Oh, Sagittarius, come on now. But I mean, I get it, right? I'm not here to judge, but that's what this feels like. Especially if you are in a relationship and it's getting more serious. If you're talking about moving in together or marriage or having a family or whatever, it is kind of like that knee-jerk reaction of like, oh, like this is getting very serious. Like, am I ready for this? And for some of you, it's like you've been with your current person for a while, but it's like, I don't know, especially if you have strong Scorpio in your chart, right? If you're cuspy Sag Scorpio, there is something that's sort of a challenge to release the past in some capacity. Now, even if it's not someone that you don't want back, right? An ex that you're still romanticizing. If it's not that, it's almost this idea of a past person where the relationship really took a toll on your heart. It really left you with some trauma or some baggage or some hurt, some wounds, some pain, that sort of thing. There could be, again, sort of that like visceral reaction of just like, oof, I don't know if I want to do that again because I'm going to risk getting my heart broken, and maybe it's too real, it's too raw. Like, you don't want to put yourself in such a vulnerable position again. Some of you might be going through that. So tell me a little bit more with the tarot here. There's you, Temperance. So this might involve another Sag. I was getting that a little bit. It's an excellent card of healing. It's also a card that says be patient. It's also a card that says your angels are guiding you. So whatever you believe in as a higher power, know that, that entity, that spirit, that person, whatever, they're around you for guidance and support. So lean into that. And yeah, don't lean into the fear with the devil card coming through. Sometimes when the devil card comes through, it can mean that fear is overpowering our decision-making skills, where we are wanting to be too conservative or not take risks, or, sometimes we can justify it as, oh, well, I need to be responsible and this and that. And I'm not saying no, but there's more to it. It's not as easy as just, justifying it as, no, it's the responsible thing to do to not get involved with this person because I still have heartbreak. But in a sense, it's like, if that's the case, you also owe it to this person to give them some sort of explanation if you have been together and you're having sort of second thoughts, or what do you call it? Cold feet is what I would say might be coming through here for some of you. This might involve a Capricorn, right? Sagittarius, Capricorn, cuspers as well. Yeah, I think there might be fear of commitment here. In a Sagittarius reading, no. Shocking. That's me being silly. Let's see. So I do think there's someone here who wants to progress things with you, or again, vice versa. You may be looking to take things to the next level. I'm not sure who's who, because again, there's a mirroring of energy, but someone is looking to slowly progress something and take things to the next level because they feel like it's the right time, right? They're loyal to this, they want to be dedicated to you, etc. But fear is also coming into this. So maybe it's both. Maybe you both want to progress this forward, but fear is factoring in, or again, a tethering to the past of something you don't feel you fully healed from. I'm not sure I'm going to get a clear explanation on what to do here, because I can tell there's a lot of storylines coming through already. So what is the best advice or guidance I can give to Sagittarius, please? The world. So culminations and completions. That's what the world says. It also says that you've been through a period of hardship and you've come out on the other end, more or less undefeated, right? Pressure breeds diamonds, right? That's sort of a positive look at the world card. But it is a Saturn card, as is the devil, right? So Saturn is what forces us to show up and be responsible, to mature, to be an adult, to slow down the pace and really dedicate ourselves to something, to be loyal, to be committed. So, the Saturn stuff may be coming through on the more kind of buoyant Jupiter Sagittarian energy, right? So yeah, there is a need to hunker down and be serious. And I think a lot of you are in this period of, am I ready to hunker down and be serious? I hate that word. Sorry, I'm using it so much. But with this person? Or is this kind of like again, my cold feet, is that indicating that maybe it's not as right as I thought it was, right? I think there's a lot of heavy contemplation of quite literally who you want to build your world with, who's going to be a part of your world. And, maybe there was a cutting of a tie, but maybe for some of you, there's a second guessing of, was that the right move? Did I end something too quickly out of fear of commitment, fear of getting my heart broken, etc.? I think with the World card, there's a higher perspective where, I hate to romanticize this, but it's sort of like absence makes the heart grow fonder. For some of you, it feels like you had to sort of try on someone else for size, in order to get a perspective on this person of the past. Now, I'm not saying one way or the other is the correct path. I think it's going to be different for all of you, but it does feel like a very strong karmic connection was in your life that ended. And with some time and space and possibly dating someone else, you start to see that past situation in a new light because you yourself have had to do some self-work, some shadow work. You've grown and matured as a person. So now you're able to look back on that past scenario and see it through different eyes. Now, is that, oh my gosh, I was settling for less than I deserve, and now I've met the person that I want to marry, and this is so much better? Or is it the opposite? Was it the fear of long-term stable commitment? Was there something spooky or scary about that, and it was much easier to just sort of, bachelorette lifestyle, on to the next one, and then you're like, oh, but there's no substance here. You know what I mean? So maybe you're looking back on the past more nostalgically of, wow, that person really wanted to give me their heart and I sort of dismissed it. That's what's going on here. There's a lot of reflection, quite literally with this mirror, looking back on the past, introspection, inner wounds. I can't deny this card, feeling lost, grieving, despair, breakup. So something did end. I'm not sure if it's someone you're trying to rekindle it with, or again, realizing maybe, I will say for you, Sagittarius, maybe some self-sabotaging ways that have been an interference in your romantic life. But the thing is, I think you're starting to become the master of that, and you're starting to recognize where you've held yourself back and how to approach things in a different way this time. So, all right, that's what I got for you this week, guys. Thanks so much. All right, Capricorn, Sun, Moon, Rising, and Venus signs. What's coming in from my Capricorn gang romantically? What's going on in their love life? Shock. Ooh, something unexpected. Sudden change, shocking news, surprises, epiphanies, and transformation. Feels electric. Maybe it's chemistry. Maybe it's meeting a stranger on the street and feeling the vibes. I don't know. Let's see. Then the Death card. So let's see. No second chances, growth, transformations. What's dead is dead. All right. So, I got to read for the obvious, right? A couple things. Two of the main messages. If you are not currently with a Scorpio, there might be a Scorpio that comes out of the clear blue and sweeps you off your feet, and it's just like instant chemistry. Others of you, if you're with a person, and I'm not sure how much you can anticipate this because it does have a lot of shock and sort of unexpected circumstances surrounding it, but there could be an unexpected ending in terms of a relationship. And I don't do fear-based readings, guys. Like, for those who've stuck around, that's never my intent. But I obviously have to relay what is here, and hopefully it's for your best and highest good. Maybe this is just sort of planting the seed of, if your intuition is sensing that something isn't right, maybe you can get ahead of it so it doesn't come as a total shock. But yeah, for some of you, there could be an ending in a relationship that you didn't necessarily anticipate or see coming. Again, I'm not a person who wants to incite fear in any of my watchers or clients out there. That's not what this is about. But let's see what we can get, like why the universe is wanting me to relay this to you. Messages for Capricorns, best and highest good. So a date, getting back out there, meeting someone new, setting a date, dating online. Okay, so love this card. This looks really lovely. Some of you may have had there's a lot coming through. Okay, so I'm going to start with this. Some of you, there may have already been a shocking ending to something, and you've been on the mend, you've been recuperating, you've been healing, and so you might be starting to dip your foot back in the pool of dating, so to say. Others of you, there could have been a hidden substance abuse issue or drinking issue that came to the light. And I'm not sure how shocking that would be, because in theory, you would have known about it, but there may have been some circumstance. Maybe it's not directly with your partner or your person, but maybe someone you haven't seen in a while. There was this revelation that they have been finding, crutches or coping strategies that are not the healthiest. Something with addiction issues is coming through, in which case, again, I don't know the context of this. I'm not necessarily advocating or advising, but I'm also not judging. There may have been some circumstance where you had to cut something off very erratically in terms of protecting yourself, protecting your boundaries, protecting your kids, whatever it is. There may have been like a very firm line drawn in the sand because someone wasn't acting in an appropriate manner, in which case it was kind of like every man for himself. Very unusual circumstance there. I do get Capricorn, Scorpio, and Aquarius coming through here the strongest. Let's get one more card and then we'll hop into the tarot. Now this looks lovely. So again, for those who are on the mend and you're recuperating, you're healing from some sort of ending or transition in your love life, it might be saying that, you know, in the coming week or two, you may actually make some sort of connection. Maybe you just muster up the strength to get back out there, right? You know, maybe you're going out with friends socially for the first time in a while. Maybe you're creating the online dating profile, whatever it is. But I think this is a positive step in the right direction. Setting a date. All right, so I apologize because this is all over the place, but, you know, the messages still stand. You know, I have to remember I'm reading for the collective, so it's great when I can put these messages in a cute little box and it all makes sense. That's not always the case, and so I'm getting a lot of different storylines here, so bear with me, Capricorn. This shock, because it's being shown to me with the Death card, which if it doesn't mean an ending, it can mean a life-changing experience, because it's being sort of... it's being expressed with this like Cupid's arrow, have faith, love is coming, struck by love. This could be a relationship that starts off unexpectedly and escalates very quickly in terms of a strong commitment. For some of you, again, one or two, not the majority, there could be unexpected wedding proposals, or there could be unexpected pregnancy, something that really transitions, this is who we are as a couple or as a friendship or whatever, into this very drastic, very quick initiation into something new where there's a new title on it. Like now we're a mom and a dad, or now we are married, or now we are living together. Some sort of unexpected change in your life or in the life of your partner that does accelerate the way you guys relate to each other and in this partnership. You know, maybe, I don't know, I'm just grasping at straws here, but just as an example, like maybe your partner loses their job unexpectedly and you're like, you know what, just move in with me. Like we weren't planning to do this that soon, but you know, rent is going to be an issue and this and that. So like, okay, let's just do it. We were going to do it eventually anyway. That's what I mean. There could be a status or a title change in your relationship or how you guys relate to each other. Again, as friends, as partners, as colleagues, as whatever. Something may get unexpectedly more intimate, more personal, more close, if that makes sense. So it's not all bad. It's not all bad. Others of you, you're just going out and dating. Sagittarius wants to come through for new prospects in dating. Tell me a little bit more. Yeah, so unexpected wedding vows too are coming through. Again, if it's not in your life, it might be in the life of people around you. It may have to do with siblings or best friends, someone you haven't spoken to in a little while. Maybe like, I'm married, I'm engaged, I'm this, and you're just like, wait, what? Like, I didn't even know you were dating someone. Like, there could be that sort of shock. Again, Sagittarius might be rushing in with a love offer. Or if it's not Sagittarius, Knight of Wands energy. So I will say with Knight of Wands, be careful. Sometimes the idea of it is better than the reality. Sometimes sort of the illusion, the fantasy, the fairy tale can kind of take hold. And then we, you know, in time we come to realize, oh, there was nothing to it. It was an illusion. It was, you know, there was no substance there. It was just the dream, the vision, the idea. So if you are accepting love offers or moving in together or starting a family, you know, make sure the vibe is right. Make sure you think you're doing it with the right person. And I didn't mean doing it in that sense, but also in that sense, you know what I mean? Because yeah, the Knight of Wands, it kind of goes on impulse, right? So there could be some sort of impulsive decision made, again, that totally aligns with this shocking change, where it's like, well, I guess we're doing this, and it's just, it's in some ways it's destiny, I think. In some ways it's divine timing, but it's like the timing comes out of nowhere. You weren't necessarily ready for this shock or this major change, but ultimately, I mean, all you can do is embrace it, and I think you, Capricorn, are typically a very level-headed sign. So with that, I think you're going to make the right choice. Tell me a little bit more. Yeah, for some of you, there's unexpected pregnancy. That's coming through a lot, actually. All right, and then the world. Yeah, so say goodbye to the old chapter, you guys together, or you guys just as friends, or whatever this is. And again, for some of you, it could be an ending, it could be a breakup. Again, it depends what stage of this you're in, but this is like the closing out of an old chapter. Nothing is ever going to be the same again. But again, you could look at that with enthusiasm and excitement, and the future is unwritten. Like we get to create this future together. Or you can do the whole like, oh my gosh, I'm so connected and tied to the past, and I'm not ready for this change, and it's uncomfortable. And I'm going to fight it tooth and nail because I have control issues and this and that. So it's up to you what you make of this new chapter. But, guys, major changes are coming through this week. So, yeah, I would say in the next couple weeks, allow new things to come into your life. And again, rather than fighting against them, I think there's beauty in acceptance that change is coming through. So we may as well embrace it and make the most out of it, because it's not all bad, right? And to be honest, like, no offense, I'm almost wanting to say it's not all good either, because there is going to be an adjustment period. This isn't going to be your comfort zone automatically, especially if this is like, well, I guess we're moving in together. There's absolutely going to be that period of adjustment. You're like, oh, this is weird and this is different. We have new guidelines and new boundaries we have to set, and we have to have these sort of new conversations and things that we've never had to address before. Again, that's going to add a strength and an anchor to your relationship to make it stronger, but it's not always going to be easy. But I said the same thing to Sagittarius. It's like pressure breeds diamonds. And I know you're all about those diamonds, Capricorn. Yeah, be generous of spirit right now, if you can be. With the moon in Taurus here, it's like nurture yourself, but make sure you're taking the time and consideration to nurture other people's feelings, ideas. Think about where they might be coming from before you speak, because there might be something very tender or very sensitive or very vulnerable about your person right now, or about the situation they're in, or for all of you involved, right? Maybe this involves people in your family. There could be a tender time where emotions are raw. So be gentle, be kind, be courteous with those around you. But I also think that, and I say this delicately because some of you are not celebrating, some of you are grieving or mourning the loss of something, but I do think ultimately the zoom out with the world, if we zoom out, the lens here shows that this is actually the beginning of a new chapter in your life, and it could be very fruitful and abundant and prosperous. So get it, Capricorn. All right, thanks so much, guys. All right, Aquarius, sun, moon, rising, and Venus signs. What's up with my beautiful Aquarius gang? How you guys doing? Happy Cancer season. Happy summer solstice. Well, depending on where you are in the world, of course. All right, what's coming in romantically for my Aquarius gang out there? Twin flames, yin yang and balance, unity and duality, complements, polar opposites. All right, kind of a cute card. Let's find out more. The color pink might be very significant. These pink fingernails, I'm being told to reiterate pink, pink, pink. That might be significant to some of you out there. I don't really know how, but that's for you to decide, not me. Interesting. So, separation followed by love call. I think there's a false ending here, to be honest. I don't know if this is someone that you're actively dating or someone that you've already broken up with. It seems like something may start to get romantic and flirty. And then I'm not sure why, but life circumstance, something happens where there's sort of a bittersweet ending. It's like it feels like it's the right thing to do, but you don't really want it. Your heart is telling you there might be more here, but you're not able to pursue it at this time. Maybe somebody moves away. Maybe there's a loss of a job or, difficult circumstances with family. If that's the case, though, you're going to keep in touch with love call. And it might not even be super romantic at first. This might just be, I hate to say it like this because it strips it of all romance, but it almost becomes like a back burner option. And I don't necessarily mean to diminish what it is. I think it's like you both are operating under the impression that it's just not meant to be right now. And so rather than holding a grudge or resenting this person or having this sort of need to control the situation and force it to be something that it's not, it's just sort of this organic releasing. But with that, you both seem to have the desire to stay in each other's life. This may also be something from your past coming back around. You may hear from someone that maybe you dated in the past. For some of you, maybe it's a past life, right? But let's go with the earthly 3D practicality. It could be someone that you had a fling with many years ago or you dated many years ago. And again, life circumstance, it's like you separated, but there wasn't necessarily any bad blood there. And this person is like, hey, I'm visiting your town. Are you still around? Or maybe they hit you up on Facebook or there's some sort of like hey, what's up? What's new with you? How you been? How you doing? Whether this is you or them, they look ecstatic to me. This is a very happy energy. I believe Taurus had this card as well. True to Aquarian form, the individualist. No one has had the twin flames card come up yet. The separation card has come out for, I'm not even kidding, at least half of the signs. But with that, it's complicated. It doesn't always mean the absolute bitter end of something. For this, it seems like there was a strong connection, something got in the way, there was an obstacle, and with this, there's potential for reunion, or I'll say this, reconnection. It might not be romantic out the gate, but who knows? I mean, it does say thinking of you, informing you, messages of love, expression of love. And then healing the heart. Yeah, see, I kind of like this. I think at bare minimum, there might be a mending with some sort of relationship of your past. And I have to be honest, guys, if there's someone in your life that you don't want back, you never have to take them back, but this probably isn't your message. There's something here about this was cozy, this was cuddly, this was a person who made you feel safe and respected, this was a person who heard you and made you feel seen. And again, for some reason or another, it couldn't come together, at least at the time or the circumstance when you had hoped it would, but it's not done yet. It's like, when I said this to someone else, it's like the future is unwritten here. There could have been an addiction issue, something with sobriety coming through. Maybe this person was not quite ready to open up their heart to you because they were going through some sort of personal transformation. Maybe one or both of you had gotten out of what could have been a toxic or abusive relationship. And it's like you guys were there to support and encourage each other, but it wasn't the right time to have some sort of new love connection. But interesting how life works. Sometimes the universe will conspire to bring something back if it is for your best and highest good. But yeah, sometimes the arrival of it doesn't always happen at the perfect time, So this might involve an Aries. It certainly doesn't have to. Again, a need to control things. It felt like this is something that slipped from your grip. Something that you wanted it to be rock solid, or you wanted to put a label on it or know what it was, or maybe your person did, right? There's something about solid rock and then it crumbling, like it didn't happen or it didn't pan out the way you would hope. There was some sort of unexpected ending, or just an ending that was kind of like, are you kidding me? It felt very almost like a slap in the face, like, I've been through hell and I've been to hell and back, through hell and high water, whatever the expression is. I'm like, this didn't work out, and it just felt like yet another thing that didn't work out for you. I think a lot of you looked at that like you weren't even surprised, because you were probably going through a bit of a tumultuous time in general. A lot of times those patterns will repeat in our life, not just like in our career, but in our love life or in our home life. It's like one or both of you was going through like a major transition, and so nothing stayed, nothing was connected, nothing was held, nothing was really, what's a good word for it? Like nothing stuck is what I'm trying to say. It was all in flux. It was all very fluid. It was like you couldn't hold on to anything tangible at the time. But tell me a little bit more. But there could be some sort of shocking revelation, though, with maybe this person comes back. Yeah, look at that, you guys. No joke. So fixed water, the idea of holding on to the emotions or the feelings for someone, messages going back and forth that maybe are a little bit, laced with passion, with sexuality, maybe it's very flirty, warmth at bare minimum, right, with the Queen of Wands. Just be careful that this person isn't already with someone else. I don't necessarily see that. But again, if this person kind of pops out of the clear blue, it's possible that maybe you've already made a connection with someone else. And so you may have to sort of gently let them in on the fact that, I'm actually not single and I'm dating someone. But even so, though, there's a huge dark horse element to this. There's a huge, I'm just literally seeing a question mark, something may come through from your past that completely changes your life again. And it's not that you're looking to stir up the pot or cause chaos or drama in anyone else's life. It's again, the timing and the arrival of this person in your life, it happens in waves of shock and unexpectedness. So it wouldn't surprise me if, sorry to be the bearer of bad news here, but it wouldn't surprise me if you guys were already kind of dating someone or in a relationship, and then this person from the past comes back and they're like, surprise. And I don't think they're trying to instigate third party stuff. I really don't. I think you guys have fallen out of touch enough where they don't necessarily know what your status is, but I do think they're coming in to check in on you. That's sort of what this feels like. Sometimes my Queen of Wands can be sort of like the other woman. So again, just do your fact finding, so to say. But I do think there's warm, passionate messages coming through here. It feels very karmic. It feels very twin flame. You guys ultimately were meant to meet and gain something from this connection, learn something from this, not just about them, but especially about yourself, right? I'm always going to say that, but I don't know. There's a lot of Aries energy here too, if I didn't mention that. It does seem like this person still has quite literally like a flame for you. Like there's warmth in their heart for you. And I think this person wants to express that. I think you seem to be at a crossroads of if you're able to accept this person into your life again, because you may be in contract with someone else. Yeah, see, that's what I mean. There's two kings here, right? So you may already be with a king of wands, Aries, Leo, Sag, maybe, it doesn't matter. Or, the Scorpio, Cancer, Pisces, water stuff, whoever or whatever this is. It looks a little bit complicated. I'm not going to lie. But that being said, I still think even if it doesn't cross the boundary of cheating or third party, it very much seems like you're excited to get a message from this person and to at least entertain a friendship again. And at least, maybe you meet up and just catch up in their life, even though you might be very clear that, hey, like I'm with someone, but let's grab a coffee and just like catch up on life, right? Maybe it starts off as friendship. ... because this definitely has a vibe where I hesitate to even predict it this early, but this has a vibe of completely changing the cycle that you're in right now unexpectedly with the Tower, where maybe this person actually ends up being your long-term person, but that might not happen for another year or two. That's sort of what this feels like to me. So overall, a very cool message. Let me know what you think in the comments below. All right, that's what I got for you this week, Aquarius. Thanks. All right, Pisces, last but not least. I'm sure you hear that all the time. All right, let's get Pisces a really good, juicy reading this week. For always being so patient, the last sign of the zodiac. Arguably the best, though, right? All right. Pisces, Sun, Moon, Rising, and Venus signs. What's coming in for them romantically? The clock, needing time, cycles, taking time to heal, and progressing. All right. Cancer had a similar reading. Let's see where this goes, though. Maybe something with a Capricorn, though. Saturn, right, the ruler of time, so to say. Something with maybe an Aquarius or Capricorn. Feels like time is running out, though. I don't know what this is, if there's like a situation that's pulling you guys apart. And it feels like, I don't know why I'm getting this. It feels like you're on the clock to fix it, or being very precious and savoring every moment because it's not going to last. Does that make sense to anyone out there? Okay, and then you have love. Beautiful card. I think arguably my favorite card in this deck. Unconditional love, self-love and wholeness, affection, attraction, and selflessness. All right, so tell me more. Yeah, maybe this is just wanting to soak in every single moment because there's something that just feels so otherworldly. It feels very Piscean, like swimming in the ocean, and it's good vibes and love and chemistry and passion. But then I'm wondering, is there only a limit to how often you can see this person because maybe you live at a distance? That's sort of like, it might not literally be that, but that's what I mean by some sort of obstacle with time. It's like you have to soak in every last second with this person. New beginning, liberation, reborn, and tragic endings. Let's see. What's with that? So, okay, a lot of you may be reminiscing about the past, and I mean, this certainly is not going to be for everyone, but particularly for those who have lost a person in their life, right here in this earthly 3D world. I'm certainly not saying this is for everybody, but one or two of you, if you experienced a loss with a husband, wife, boyfriend, girlfriend, romantic partner of any kind, there might be a reminiscing, a looking back on old memories, old photos, old videos, old scrapbooks, things like that of what used to be, and feeling like, I think in many ways gratitude, like I'm so lucky I got to experience that. But with that, there may also be a very heavy-heartedness of feeling like maybe nothing will ever measure up to that. But then you have the Phoenix here, which is new phases, rekindling, renew, and growth, changing your mind, rising from the ashes. So for some of you, you had to put something down that was very heavy, not because you wanted to, because life happened, right? And with that, this feels very determined to get back to living your best life. There might be a Scorpio in your future that comes through and really ushers in a new chapter, major changes in your life. If you have strong Scorpio in your chart, by all means, that could be you. But there is some sort of like taking initiative to realize, like, sort of this idea of like no one's necessarily coming to rescue you. So you really have to sort of stand strong in your own footing and decide how you want to orchestrate your life moving forward, because it's easy to do nothing. It's easy to stay the same. It's easy to get lost in the misery and the tragedy and the sorrow, because there's always going to be that in life. So you may have to work extra hard to sort of seek out opportunities for joy and happiness, but that's not always going to be the case, right? There's a transitional period coming through here. For some of you, again, if this doesn't have to do with anyone in the past who's deceased or left you, if you understand what I mean, maybe this does have to do with distance. For a lot of you, physical distance, in which case, like you can only see them for so long because you live in different cities. And in which case, I do feel like you guys are probably going to make plans to see each other more often, or mix it up. Maybe you're going to do more FaceTimes, or you're going to try and move in together. You're going to try and split your time in different cities there. That whole timeline might be going through a transitional phase in order to get you guys to be together, a majority of the time. Excuse me. Rise from the ashes, though. And then, something that was lost in time. I don't know what happened here, but there might be a revisiting from something of the past. Again, something with a Scorpio, maybe a Cancer even. We're in Cancer season now, at least when I'm recording this, and that does rule your 5th house of dating. So, for those who are single and looking, get out there. It might be a good, lush, abundant time for you to make some sort of romantic connection. Karmic relationship. So whatever this thing from the past is, it feels heavy, but it also feels very beautiful. I said this to another sign, I don't remember, maybe Aquarius, but this doesn't feel like someone you have a lot of spite against or spite for, or a lot of bad blood with. It felt like, shit happens in life. It wasn't all sunshine and rainbows, I'm sure, particularly if illness factored into this, or addiction issues. You may have lost someone to addiction, or again, something sort of impeded on the relationship where it wasn't all, sunshine and rainbows. As I said earlier, there was some heavier energy tied to this, but it was absolutely karmic. You guys were meant to meet and change each other's life indefinitely, and you already did, whether you come together again or not, because for some of you, that's not an option, at least not here in this lifetime. If the person has passed, though, it does very much feel like they watch over you, like they're a spirit guide or an angel in your life. I think you get signs and synchronicities and confirmations that they're still around you. Others of you, it's possible that you guys both still think about each other. For some of you, it feels like this person is tempted to reach out and try and make amends or try and rekindle something, but I think they're worried that you've already moved on. It's almost like their biggest fear is that you've already found another person, and they wouldn't want to come into your life and disassemble things or make things more chaotic or dramatic for you, because in some ways it feels like they already did that and they feel guilt or shame about it. Like they brought you, it's almost like they had Tasmanian devil energy. It's like you kind of got swept up in their whirlwind, and I think they realized they may have accidentally kind of, taken advantage of you or taken you for a ride or put you through something that you didn't really deserve to go through. And so I think they're very apprehensive to try and open that door again. But it does feel like you both are thinking about each other. I'm hoping this resonates for someone out there. Something about traveling was very important to this person. You guys may have met abroad or overseas. They might be from a different country. There's definitely a lot of apprehension to reach back out to you or to try and get back with you or, again, rekindle the flame. Why is that? Because this person, I don't know, they were going through something else that had nothing to do with you at the time, but it did impact you greatly. It also took a toll on their self-confidence. They may have had self-worth issues, money issues. They may have had kind of poverty mindset. They may have grown up in a family where they were constantly told they weren't good enough or they wouldn't measure up to anything. A lot of baggage here. And I don't mean that in a judgmental way, just sort of like this person had a lot of stuff going on, and I think you knew. And maybe both of you did. For some of you, that may have been sort of what made this connection even stronger, is that you had mutual ground, you had mutual territory. You didn't feel so alone because you've met that person who was struggling with something similar. But unfortunately, it's not always that Cinderella story of like, I don't feel like a weirdo anymore because you have this thing. It's like, but nobody has figured out how to conquer that demon yet, or no one, you know what I mean? There's nobody to shine light on that shadow because you both have the same shadow. So it was certainly a mirror, right? It was a reflection. You guys were mirroring each other, but it's like you didn't quite have that insight into how to heal yourself fully, and so you couldn't do it for the other person either. That's sort of what this feels like. It may have involved a Cancerian. Or again, Cancer season is going to bring up memories of this. Memories, that card wants to come out. That's very important. The dark and the light. I think you guys had a lot in common. There was something vaguely familiar about them, even when you didn't really know them. It was like they felt like home. There was an instant connection. You felt safe and comforted. I think you both had the ability to nurture one another, but that was like the substance. That was like the strongest part was the ability to nurture. But I don't know, other factors came through that made it more complicated. Maybe money issues or again, health issues is coming through very strongly here. There's your King of Cups. Yeah, so I mean, a lot of watery energy, Scorpio, Cancer, Pisces. If whether this person is around anymore or not, they hold love for you. It feels like a relationship that in some ways it's always going to be with you because it was the comfort you needed at the time. Unfortunately, like it didn't have the lasting power that you thought it would. Now, that being said, you do have 2 cards indicating Scorpio energy, which of all the signs is most likely to be able to transform and change into something else, right? To breathe new life into something, to shed the skin of what it used to be and come out the other end a changed and transformed human being. Maybe that's what this journey was about for you as an individual, but maybe if you both have sort of stepped up to the plate and done your own healing work, you know, maybe this could come together again. And maybe in some ways you're able to address the things that you weren't able to address before, because in some ways it was your blind spot. You know, it was easy to want to nurture and comfort the shadow sides of your partner, but again, you weren't able to do that for yourself. So there was a necessary break or pause in order for you to sort of raise your vibe and focus more on you and your own healing. I don't know. I don't see this storyline a lot, but this does seem to have the potential to come back together if there's an equal desire for it to do that. Yeah, someone might be reaching out. If they're not reaching out this week, they're definitely thinking about you. They might be spying on you on social media. And like, this is, to me, is very much like I'm writing a message in my phone memos of what I'm eventually going to text to them. Or I want to plan out what I'm going to say before I shoot the message out because I don't want to like overwhelm them or bombard them. But yeah, someone might be seeking reconciliation for you. Or again, for some of you, if that doesn't seem plausible, it could be that you're getting a lot of signs and synchronicities, angel numbers, confirmations, messages from the universe about that love of your life that may be passed on. And for that matter, encouraging you to go out and meet a new person, right? You don't have to be tethered to the past anymore. It doesn't have to be a prison sentence or something that you're shackled to. I think there's a liberation from the past and possibly the ability to come into something new and fresh. And yeah, messages are coming through for you this week, Pisces. All right, that's what I got for you guys. Thanks so much.